light is a special one. This morning is a chance to share the enduring light that is Torah that we get to enjoy year round, and also the anchors of timeless music, prayer, and good company and connection with one another to remind each other of the ever-renewing source that is Shabbat, dedicated time out of time to rest, to replenish, to access gratitude. This is a much-needed Shabbat. I know I say that every week, and this week I'm feeling it from the depth of my heart. A week punctuated by unbelievable, senseless violence and heartache for the Jewish people and for the human family. We need these anchors in time as an act of resilience, as an act of rededication to what nourishes us and what keeps us proudly and openly living on Jewish time, no matter what is happening in our wider world. This day also coincides with Rosh Chodesh Tevet. Hanukkah is one of the few holidays that straddle two Hebrew months, and specifically always has a Rosh Chodesh contained within it. So we've been in the month of Kislev, and now we are entering the month of Tevet. These are two of the darkest months of the year, and therefore the rabbis encourage that they are months of turning inward and cultivating an inner light, as well as cultivating a generosity of spirit and courage towards the world around us, and understanding the darkness to also be a companion and a teacher, allowing us to be in those spaces of quiet and uncertainty, and also to recognize that all of our sparks are needed to illuminate possibilities for peace and healing that we yearn for. We're going to have a few special Hanukkah and Rosh Chodesh inserts in our service, along with lines of gratitude and of healing in the spirit of these overlapping sacred occasions that we're marking today. And also, speaking of gratitude, I am enormously thankful to you, Diana. Diana Bremen is embodying the concept of Hidur mitzvah, beautifying what is already a mitzvah of gathering as a minyan and praying on Shabbat by adding a Hanukkah glow and a spin, if you will, on our music selection today. Sevivon, so. Oh, we just did that. You may feel like a pulsing in the room, and that's because about 200 kids under 6 just were like spinning and dancing and like just acting out everything from the dreidels to the latkes to the sufganiyot. So whether you have come seeking a peaceful, mellow, and quiet Shabbat, or you want to tap into a little more of that sparkling energy of Ruach, of Hanukkah, there is space for everything that you need in this Shabbat morning. It's going to be a really wonderful time. Thank you, Arlo, for helping make sure that our services are connected both in this space and also virtually for those tuning in, and for making sure that that everyone's able to access the songs and the tunes. And thank you, Ronnie, for welcoming everyone in as well. We're going to continue warming up our voices, and on that note of gratitude and the simple sweetness of acknowledging how wonderful it is to be together, we turn to page 74 for Ma Tovu. We continue blessing the bodies that we woke up in this morning, blessing them not because they work perfectly every morning, that is not the expectation, but that we have the opportunity to notice the ways that all of our organs are integrated, that our breath returns to our bodies. We offer gratitude for the ways that we feel whole and offer tenderness and compassion to the ways that our body need care each morning. Turning to page 77. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe. With divine wisdom you have made our bodies, combining veins, arteries, and vital organs into a finely balanced network. Wondrous maker and sustainer of life, were one of them to fail, how well we are aware we would lack the strength to stand before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, source of our health and our strength. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei chol basar uma'afli la'asot. We continue acknowledging that there is also a source beyond our bodies that we call a soul. Perhaps you understand to be that inhale and exhale that keeps us alive and sustains us. Elohai Neshama is on page 78.
Please join me with Debbie Friedman. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shenata Tabi Tehorahi, Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shenata Tabi Tehorahi, Ata Verata, Ata Yitzarta, Ata Nefaktabi, Beata Meshamra, Meshamra Bikirbi, Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shenata Tabi Tehorahi.
I like to say that this Minyan service is co-created. It is not a particularly exclusively rabbi-directed service. I should introduce myself, though. I'm Rabbi Laura, so if I am a new face for anyone, let's change that, and please introduce yourselves. I'd love to get to know you better, and we love to have as many voices as possible from members of our community, whether you have been here many a Minyan, or you're here for the first time or relatively new to our space. We love to have new voices in our service as well. So particularly as we come to our Nisim B'chol Yom, the blessings that we notice in each and every day, we're grateful to have a member of our community share the version that most resonates with them this morning. And Esther, thank you for offering to lead us this morning in the Nisim B'chol Yom. That can be found on page 80.
I'll be leading with the traditional / masculine language, but feel free to use the language that most resonates with you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lasech v'vina lehavchin v'in yom u'v'in laila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokaf kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, rokah haaretz al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin mitzadei gaver. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish adrumim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten layaf koach. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamevir she'na me'enai utnuma me'afapai. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani b'tselem Elohim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani bat chorin. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, ozer Yisrael b'gvura. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, oter Yisrael b'tifara. Amen.
Yasher koach. Thank you, Esther.
We want to do the additional, the personal blessing.
Yes, and as we each wake up uniquely as ourselves, we have the custom of saying that opening refrain and then filling in one blessing that we experience personally this day. So we'll together have a bit of a cacophony, but open with that Baruch atah Adonai, and then offer in the language that is most familiar to you a blessing that is personal to you this morning. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam.
Gives us congregational leaders.
Brought us bagels this morning. All right, we continue. Our cups are full, and we turn now to Suke de Zimra.
So, for Suke de Zimra today, songs of praise, verses of praise, we're going to do Mi Yimalel, another Hanukkah song. And I don't know if we have a word slide for that, Arlo, but if not, it's in your prayer book on 364. I know probably not all of you know this, but hopefully you'll pick it up pretty quickly. It's a simple melody. Oh, great. We're going to do Hebrew, English, and then back to the Hebrew. Mi Yimalel Guvrot Yisrael Otani Yine Ein B'chol Dor Yakum HaGibor Goel Ham. Mi Yimalel Guvrot Yisrael Otani Yine Ein B'chol Dor Yakum HaGibor Goel Ham. Shema Mayamim Hahem Bazman Hazeh Maccabi Moshiach U'Kodeh U'V'Yameinu Kohan Yisrael Eitached Yakum V'Yigael. Let's try it in English. Who can retell the things that befell us? Who can count them? In every age a hero or sage arose to our aid. Who can retell the things that befell us? Who can count them? In every age a hero or sage came to our aid. Hark, in days of yore in Israel's ancient land, brave Maccabeus led his faithful band. And now all Israel must as one arise, redeem itself through deed and sacrifice. Rock it out in the Hebrew. Mi Yimalel Guvrot Yisrael Otani Yine Ein B'chol Dor Yakum HaGibor Goel Ham. Mi Yimalel Guvrot Shvat Yisrael Otani Ine Heim B'chol Dor Yakum Hagibor Goel Ham Goel Ham Goel Ham.
Yasher Koach. We turn now to Chatzi Kadesh on page 106.
Sorry, finding my place. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, be'amad ivrat hirate, v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uvyomechon, uvchayedecho beit Yisrael, b'agala v'zman kari, v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevorach, Le'olam u'lomei almaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach v'yishtabach, V'yitpar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yithadar v'yithaleh, V'yithalal, Shemei d'kudsha brichu, Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imru amen.
Please rise in body or in spirit as we turn to page 108, and as a minyan, as a collective of Jews, ready to enter the heart of our prayer service together.
La, 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 la. La, 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 la. La, la, la,
be seated. We'll be looking at a beautiful piece of Talmud later this morning that speaks to the interplay of light and darkness and how essential one is to the other. And we have the blessing of feeling the light streaming through our sanctuary windows and roof and reminding us that whatever emotions we went to bed with, however we met the night as our Hanukkah candles melted down to be extinguished, we now get to awaken to a new day and feel the difference. Not that one is better than the other, but that each has something to teach us. So we bless now intentionally the morning light, and I'm drawn to a reading on page 111. In the beginning, even then, a new light was sown for the righteous, a promise that your light would become the catalyst, first for order and then for hope. Author of language and light, help us to use words as you have, to cast light into dark waters and draw out justice and truth. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMeorot.
Amen. We continue now on page 112. Ahava Rabbav Tanu, Adonai Eloheinu, Chemla Gadola Vitera, Chamalta Leinu, Bavur Avotenu, Ve'imotenu, Shebatchu Vecha, Shebatchu Vecha, Avotenu Ve'imotenu, Vatlamdem Chukei Chaim, Kein Techonenu Tlamdenu, Hamerachem, Hamerachem, Rachem Aleinu, V'ten b'ribeinu lehavin, lehavin ulhaskil, lishmor lilmor ulelamed, lishmor velasot, ulkayem et kol divrei Talmud Torah techa be'ahava, v'ha'erinenu be'torah techa, v'dahabek libeinu v'mitzotecha, v'heyached levavenu, le'ahava u'yira et shemecha, v'lo nevosh, v'lo nikalem, v'lo nikashel, le'olam va'ed, ki v'shem kodshecha, Hagadol v'hanara batachnu, nagila v'nismecha, nagila v'nismecha b'yeshuatecha, v'havienu l'shalom, me'arba kanfot haaretz, v'tolichenu kamemiyud, kamemiyud le'artzenu, ki epoel yeshuata, uvanu v'acharta, v'kerav tanu l'shimcha hagadol, sela sela behemet l'hodot lecha, uyachercha be'ahava. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher b'yamo Yisrael be'ahava. I'd like to share just a couple of words. I'm going to read the reading on top of 113. For those of you who have been around as long as I have, these words were actually written by our Rabbi Emeritus, Norman Hirsch. And they still are imbued with the importance of the civil rights movement that I think that they sprung out of, and still relevant today. Once or twice in a lifetime, a person may choose a radical leaving, having heard Lech Lecha, go forth. God disturbs us toward our destiny by hard events and by freedom's now urgent voice, which explode and confirm who we are. We don't like leaving, but God loves becoming. Shma's on 114. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shem Kevod, Machuto, Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod, Machuto, Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
As we turn to Ve'ahavta, which is a prayer that I really think operates as a curriculum for how to walk in the world with the values that we hold most dear as a Jewish people and that sustain us in our comings, in our goings, in each new chapter, and especially upon sacred returns to a home like this one, which I hope this is a Jewish home for anyone who seeks it. We love to invite up those who consider themselves students of our Bima, either because you have recently become bar, bat, or beit mitzvah, or because that was a memorable experience for you at one point, however many years ago, or something you're still looking forward to. So with that in mind, I have recruited Trillian, thank you, to come lead Ve'ahavta for us, and anyone else who considers themselves a student of our Bima who would like to come help Trillian lead Ve'ahavta. We welcome more voices up here. And thank you for saying yes to leading us. And we can join you. We will not leave you alone here. We are going to join you on page 116.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levecha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha vehayu hadevarim ha'ele asher anochi nitzecha hayom alavecha Vishinantam levanecha vidibartam bishitecha vedecha ulechecha vadere ushevecha uvukecha ukshartam leot alayadecha vehayu letotafot bein einecha Uharaham Amezuzo Beitecha Uvisharecha Leman Tiskeru Ve'asitem et kol mitzvotai Vitem kedoshim lelohehem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeti etchem meretz Mitzrayim v'hod lechem Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
Amen. Yashar Koach, and thank you for spending the first day of winter break here at Temple Beth Am. Thank you to all of you who are marking that, and especially those who are returning, who've been away for a season and are back for the winter break. We are going to continue with a special rendition, not of Micha Mocha, but Diana found a very fitting way to weave this piece with our Micha Mocha piece of our service.
So we're going to sing Ma'ot Sur, which is, of course, the traditional song you sing after you light the Hanukkah candles. It's in your book on 365. However, after we do the Hebrew, I'm going to have us do these newer, they're really not so new anymore. I think these are from the 80s. But these newer verses, which I actually am not sure who wrote them, but they've been attributed, I believe, to Rabbi Harvey Fields, who was a leader in the Reform movement in that time. And they more reflect the spirit of Hanukkah rather than the literal words of the song, which I invite you to read in your prayer book if you like. But please join with me. Oh, and both these songs, this and Micha Mocha mentioned, have the imagery of God as a rock, Sur, Ma'od Sur, my rock. Ma'od Sur Yeshuati Lechanae L'Shabeach Tikon Bet Tefilati V'sham Toda Nezaveach Leit Tahin Matbeach Mitzar Hamnabeach Azekmor Bashir Mizmor Chanukat Hamizbeach Azekmor Bashir Mizmor Chanukat Hamizbeach Rock of ages, God above, here we pray our grateful song. Not our power, but your love, and your spirit make us strong. Foes have cruelly fought us, but your word has taught us how to live. Thanks we give, courage you have brought us, how to live. Thanks we give, courage you have brought us. Kindling now the candles bright, greet with joy each glowing flame. Dedicate your life to right, faith and freedom to proclaim, that all may be hearing. Lo, the time is nearing, that we'll see people free, tyrants disappearing, that we'll see people free, tyrants disappearing.
Katie Ratzon. May people be free, may tyrants disappear, may we continue to dedicate ourselves to a freedom that is expansive and that extends beyond this sanctuary to those who most need to feel it. Thank you. Thank you for bringing life and relevance and presence to those verses that ready us now for personal prayer, for the Amidah, which takes us from our ancestral roots and the earliest opening of prayer that has then traveled through generations and will arrive in this present moment. We'll have a spaciousness also for personal silent prayer, and there's a nice Hanukkah insert in those prayers. So if any of the imagery of Hanukkah that has already been named, the illumination of light, a rock, a sense of rededication and redemption speaks to you specifically, that is a spaciousness that you might also offer your personal prayers for the Hanukkah season. I'll invite everyone to rise in body or spirit as we turn to page 124 for the Amidah.
It says here, pray as if everything depended on God, act as if everything depended on you. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיח ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. 128, אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מה אדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני במקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
With that sacred sense of hush, we make space now for silent prayer, which may include the words on the page, continuing and highlighting page 136, which is also the insert for Rosh Chodesh, the new moon, which actually begins today. There's also a beautiful insert for Hanukkah that you can follow that is on page 264. So there are special places to travel within the prayer book, and it may resonate more with you to be with the personal prayers and meditations and reflections you have brought to this morning. There is room for all of it. We will continue in song in a few moments, but please remain standing or seated as we offer silent prayer now.
middle of page 142. Ratzon imrefi v'hegyon libi lefanecha ratzon imrefi v'hegyon libi lefanecha Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Begali, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Begali, Ratzon imrefi v'hegyon libi lefanecha ratzon imrefi v'hegyon libi lefanecha.
As I see sugared up toddlers making their way out of our sanctuary, I'm reflecting on the different experiences, the shift from the high octave intensity of the early morning to the unbelievable sense of a Sukkot Shalom, a canopy of peace over this particular community now. And I just love the range of what's possible within the span of just a few hours, and all of it is Shabbat. Thank you for helping create so much.
We are truly
shalom.
surrounded by all the generations, and it really feels so good.
Yes, it does. And I don't know about you, but as we're coming to the 7th night of Hanukkah, and I feel sad by the time we light the last candle, because I get used to the ritual of having this candle to watch burn all the way to the end of its wick, and the sweetness and the necessity of lighting. And that is when I remember it is particularly heartening to read Torah in the midst of Hanukkah, because we have a Ner Tamid. We have a candle that is always burning brightly, which is the light of Torah, the reminder that we can live on Jewish time each and every week and be connected to the broader Am Yisrael, the broader Jewish people who commit to this timeless book club, to being on the same page, literally the same page, whatever your scroll may look like and however you access an Aron HaKodesh, a sacred ark. We are connected to one another in a way that transcends space and time, and we read stories that offer us wisdom for the moment that we meet, and also remind us that we belong to a wider scope of time, which is deeply comforting. And particularly in this darkest time of the year, I find stories to be another version of a warm blanket, and our sacred story, our most ancient story, is one which offers us unbelievable depth of wisdom. So it is a blessing to engage in Seder Kriyat Torah, the reading of Torah. And we are connected across space and time, but we are the only community that gets to hear Torah read by Julie Smith. We are so grateful that you are our Bal Kriya this morning, and that you have both of your kiddos here who are also esteemed young members of our community, to bring Torah into our midst. So I invite all of us to rise in body or in spirit. We're on page 244. And Morris and Hazel, I invite you up to our bima to open our ark doors and bring Torah into our midst. And I will say, Morris, you did become bar mitzvah at Temple Beth Am, but did not get to have a Torah service in our sanctuary because you became bar mitzvah during COVID. So this is particularly special that you get to carry Torah for us in person in our sanctuary in this moment.
We'll move through the next 3 pages, starting on 244. Ein kamocha va'Elohim Adonai, va'ein kama'asecha, malchutcha malchut kol amim, umemshaltcha b'chol dor v'ador. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imloch leolam va'ed. Adonai oz le'amo yitain. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, u'davar Adonai mirushalayim. Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah. Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah. Le'amo Yisrael bekedushato. And once again, we recite these words of attention and intention. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Shlosha Devarim, Shlosha Devarim, Shlosha Devarim, Haolam, Haolam Omeid. Shlosha Devarim, Shlosha Devarim, Shlosha Devarim, Haolam, Haolam Omeid. Al HaTorah ve'al Havodah ve'al Gemilut Hasadim. Al HaTorah ve'al Havodah ve'al Gemilut Hasadim. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'hishtachavu l'har kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'hishtachavu l'har kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Oh, ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'hishtachavu l'har kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'hishtachavu l'har kodsho.
Please be seated. We find ourselves in Parsha Miketz this week. Parsha Miketz is dominated by 2 great encounters in Torah marked with dreams and foreboding. The first is a reversal of Joseph's fortune that comes out of interpreting Pharaoh's very troubling dreams, which he does with such a skill that he rises to become second only to Pharaoh himself in Egypt. So it's a profound understanding of imagery and the art of interpretation in a way that really changes his position in life. And the second encounter is with Joseph's brothers, who have been driven to Egypt out of famine. They failed to recognize Joseph, their brother, who they had a very dramatic falling out with the last time they encountered each other. And so there's a kind of climactic scene to come where Joseph is testing his brothers. There's many fascinating themes, and particularly the potency and the centrality of dreams in this parsha is worth noting. And for those who want to follow along in a commentary with the verses that are being read this morning, We are, where are the rest of my, there we are. We are in the newer Plout, the slightly more embossed Plout commentary on page 279. Julie is going to be reading from Genesis 44, verses 10 through 13. That's Parsha Miketz, Genesis 44, verses 10 through 13. And in the older Plout, that is page 277. And I will say, Julie, it's such an honor to have you on this bima, and particularly that you are wearing your father's tallis, and that this reading of Torah is in his memory as you've just commemorated his first yard site. And it is such a blessing to have your voice and the courage that you bring to reading Torah is an example for all of us. Thank you, and Mazel Tov. All right, let's Absolutely, yes. Thank you, Diana, for helping to unwrap the Torah. And as we do so, the verses are Genesis 44, verses 10 through 13. So if you're in the new Plout, that's page 279. And the older one, it's 277. And Morris, it is such an honor to call you up for the Aliyah with the Hebrew name that you were given on your bar mitzvah, and that we get to have you by your mother's side now as you share with us the blessing for reading Torah. We say, Ya'amod Moshe Yishai ben Chaim ve'Yehudit Alisa le'Aliyah.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorah. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Vayomer gamata chadivrechem kenhu asher yamatzei ito yihye li aved va'atem tihiyu nikim ve'yamach harun ve'yoridu ish et amtachto artsa V'yiftecha isham tachto v'yahapes v'gadol ha'hel uvakatan kila v'yamatzei hagavia ba'am tachat binyamim V'yikra'u simlotem v'ya'amos ish el hamaro v'yashuvu ha'ira.
Baruch atah Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam nata b'Eloheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Yasher koach to you both. That was phenomenal. Do you want to read the English now of the verses that were just chanted so that we can all hear them? We have them right here. Either one of you is welcome to.
Yeah. He replied, "Yes, right away. Just as you say, so shall it be. But while he who is caught with it shall be my slave, the rest of you shall be cleared." They hastened to lower their bags to the ground, and each opened his bag. He began searching with the eldest and ended with the youngest until he found the goblet in Benjamin's bag. They tore their mantles, each then reloaded his ass and went back to the city.
Yasher koach. Thank you for reading those verses so beautifully. This is just modeling Lador Vador, what is possible, and I see a lot of Lador Vador in this room, a lot of parents and grandparents and dear friends with people of other generations, and it is really, really special to be able to share this ritual of reading Torah together. I'll invite you all to take a seat, and while we have Torah in our midst, we have a special blessing that we would like to offer to Yaela Etlinger. Yaela, if you'd like to come to our bima now. We are going to offer Birkat HaGomel. Birkat HaGomel is a prayer of gratitude after overcoming a life-threatening experience or a dangerous event or illness. It was often traditionally recited after childbirth or another harrowing event. And Yaela, we understand that you have made it through a harrowing event of your own, and we are just so grateful that you are here and that you are safe, and it is an honor to offer the words of Birkat HaGomel to you now, with you now. We say, together, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam sheheg malenu kol tov. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has bestowed goodness upon us. And we say, Mi shigamalchem kol tov, hu yigmolchem kol tov selah. May the one who has bestowed goodness upon us continue to bestow every goodness upon us forever. And we know that bound up in that word tov is so much of life's experience, and that it is not to say that every day is perfect or necessarily filled with happiness, but that tov encompasses a sense of wholeness that you have returned to, and a feeling of safety and protection and belonging and community. And we are so grateful to witness this moment with you. We look to the Torah's healing power each time we have the blessing of reading Torah in community. Benching Gomel, as Yaela just did, is a particular opportunity that if anyone is interested in hearing more about that or has had an experience that they would like witnessed in community in this way, that's something we always want to offer. And we also offer the words of Mishe Berach, words of healing that connect us to those in our lives who could use that cup-filling source of renewal that Torah gives us, that being together in community gives us. The world is aching and in need of healing, and particularly in our own inner worlds. I imagine that each of us have names on our hearts, people who we would like to extend prayers for wholeness, for peace, and for healing to. So before we offer the words of Misha Berach, I'll pass my hand through the room, and please share out loud the names of anyone, including yourself, that you'd like to offer the words of Misha Berach prayers for healing to this morning. into the personal prayers for healing, a prayer for collective healing for the communities who were impacted by violence this week, that really tore through so many in the Jewish world and the wider human family. And we are just praying that as we light the final candles of Hanukkah, that there is a sense of peace, of being able to grieve and to at least imagine a wholeness that is to come for communities in need of healing. The words of Misha Berach can be found on the slide. Is it on the slide?
Actually, I'm going to do the Taubman version, so I think we have a slide for that. Thank you. Thank you, Arlo. Misha Berach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak veYaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel vLeah Hu Yevarech veYirapeh et HaHolim Misha Berach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak veYaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel vLeah Hu Yevarech veYirapeh et HaHolim Berach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak veYaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel vLeah Hu Yevarech veYirapeh et HaCholim Hu Yevarech veYirapeh et HaCholim.
To all those on our hearts, we wish refuah shlema, a return to wholeness and to healing. It's now my honor to invite up to lift Torah and dress it before we return it to the ark, Jacob and Lynn, to be our Chagba and Galila. Please rise and body your spirit as we turn to page 252. And thank you, Molly, for helping as well.
And for our song, after we do V'zot HaTorah, we're going to sing Not by Might, Not by Power, which we might have a slide for, but it's also in your prayer book. Where did it go? On page... Oh, I forgot to put the page. It's on like where all the other Hanukkah songs are. And if you know the clapping, I think Miriam does, you can help me with that. V'zot HaTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai v'yad Moshe. All right, some clapping. Spirit and another song will rise, another song will rise, another song will rise. Not by might and not by power, but by Spirit alone shall we all live in peace. Not by might and not by power, but by Spirit alone shall we all live in peace. Okay, let's hear that clapping.
That exceeded my rhythmic talent. That was beautiful.
It's actually a little challenging.
But the Ruach of Hanukkah is with us. I love it. Thank you, thank you. And now we have the pleasure of hearing Haftorah read this morning in our sanctuary. Miriam, thank you for volunteering to read the Haftorah blessings. This is another multi-generational pair in the house. Thank you for coming and for bringing your parents. I know they wouldn't be here without you, so thank you. And yes, Carl Levinson, thank you for reading for us our Haftorah verses this morning, which are from Kings, chapter 3, verses 16 through 28. You'll hear, if those of you are familiar with the story of Solomon and the babies, that is the story that Carl will be reading for us this morning. If you'd like to follow, it is in the Older Plout commentary on page 355, and if you have the more heavily embossed, that is on page 284. Or you can listen to Carl's excellent rendition. Miriam, whenever you're ready.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar bimim tovim v'ratza v'divreihem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah u'v'Moshe avdo u'v'Yisrael amo u'v'nvi'eh ha'emet v'atzedek.
When people are fighting, you can sometimes discern which one stands for life and peace and which one stands for death and vengeance. Then you know who to trust. Sometimes you have to test people, as Joseph tests his brothers in our Torah portion. But where does the wisdom for that kind of testing come from? Our Haftorah reading tells us. So, King Solomon, newly crowned, meets with God, earthly king to heavenly king. And God promises to grant Solomon any single wish. And Solomon asks for wisdom so he can judge things fairly in this confusing, troubled world. And then Solomon wakes up. He wakes up. His encounter with God was just a dream. But the wisdom he receives in his dream becomes his in reality. And our Torah portion 2 teaches us that dreams and waking life run together. May it be for good. Then Solomon awoke. It was a dream. He went to Jerusalem, stood before the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord, and sacrificed burnt offerings and presented offerings of well-being, and he made a banquet for all his courtiers. Later, 2 prostitutes came to the king and stood before him. The first woman said, "Please, my lord, this woman and I live in the same house, and I gave birth to a child while she was in the house. On the 3rd day after I was delivered, this woman also gave birth to a child. We were alone. There was no one else with us in the house, just the 2 of us in the house. During the night, this woman's child died because she laid on it. She arose in the night and took my son from my side while your maidservant was asleep, and laid him in her bosom, and she laid her dead son in my bosom. When I arose in the morning to nurse my son, there he was, dead. But when I looked at him closely in the morning, it was not the son I had born." The other woman spoke up. "No, the live one is my son, and the dead one is yours." But the first insisted, "No, the dead boy is yours. Mine is the live one." And they went on arguing before the king. The king said, "One says, 'This is my son, the live one, and the dead one is yours.' And the other says, 'No, the dead boy is yours. Mine is the live one.' So the king gave the order, 'Fetch me a sword.' A sword was brought before the king. And the king says, 'Cut the live child in 2, and give half to one and half to the other.' But the woman whose son was the live one pleaded with the king, for she was overcome with compassion for her son. 'Please, my lord,' she cried, 'give her the live child, only don't kill it.' The other insisted, 'It shall be neither yours nor mine. Cut it in 2. When the king spoke up, he said, 'Give the live child to her, and do not put it to death, for she is its mother.' When all Israel heard the decision that the king had rendered, they stood in awe of the king, for they saw that he possessed divine wisdom to execute justice. King Solomon was now king over all Israel.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzur kol haolamim tzadik bechol hadorot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer ve'oseh hamdaber ve'umkayem shekol devarav emet v'tzedek al ha'torah ve'al Shabbat hazeh shenatata Lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'limnucha lechovod ulatifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach umvarchim otach yitbarach shimcha befi kol chai tamid leolam vaed Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat.
Yasher koach to you both. Thank you for bringing that powerful and iconic scene to our midst and the wrestling with what justice means when it is bound with compassion. Thank you. Thank you both. All right. We have truly honored Torah and Haftorah now with those profound readings, and we move to return the Torah to its ark now. I invite you to rise as we turn to return the Torah to its ark. 256, thank you.
Etz chaim chi lemachazikim ba v'tom hecha meushar dracheha darchei noam v'chol netivotecha shalom Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Chadesh Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem.
Right. I am taking this opportunity on as we approach the 7th night of Hanukkah to offer some of my favorite Hanukkah teachings. I was particularly captivated by the centrality of dreams and dreaming that the Torah emphasizes. The month of Kislev, the Hebrew month that just passed, contains 9 of the 10 dream sequences that are in the entire Torah. So it's a very potent time to be considering, not even necessarily for those of us who don't remember the images of our dreams every night, but particularly that which feels mysterious or below the surface, that may be emerging in a non-linear way, but which contains some wisdom for us. And so I've compiled a source sheet on dreams, on light and darkness, and then particularly on how we embody the courage that we take from lighting the candles and actually make that a practice that we take into our daily lives to be a lamp lighter, as you were for us this morning, Julie, by saying, I don't know what the outcome of this will be, but I am volunteering to read Torah this morning. The outcome happened to be beautiful, but just the courage to stand before the Torah was the piece that I'm learning from. And that's really, I think, the wisdom of Hanukkah, that courage to shine a light that did not exist before. So I have a few sources for us, and in the spirit of community and a little bit of chavruta, a little learning together, we're going to take just 5 minutes because I know we are also close to lunchtime, and I don't want to be standing in the way of that. But the meal will taste even better when we get just a bissel of Torah amidst us, right? So there's some options for where to go in your source sheet in the 5 minutes that we have now. One of them is what I like to call Talmud math, but the Gemara, or the words of our ancient rabbinic sages say there are 5 matters in the world of which they are 1/60th of their most extreme manifestations. They are fire, honey, Shabbat, sleep, and dreams. And the Gemara elaborates, our fire is 1/60th of the fire of Gehenna, this kind of imagined underworld. Honey is 1/60th of manna. Shabbat is 1/60th of the world to come. Sleep is 1/60th of death. And a dream is 1/60th of prophecy. So take that as you will, but I'm curious if you have another something would be 1/60th of something. I feel like this one is inviting us to add our own take onto it. And another piece from the Talmud that says an uninterpreted dream is like an unopened letter. So for those of you who have ever been in the practice of or are currently in the practice of writing or receiving letters, I get them from my mother-in-law on a regular basis. What is that feeling that bubbles up with a letter that has yet to be opened? That is one possibility for conversation. There's also a piece about the darkness and the necessity of darkness and the way that God intentionally planted darkness into the world. And finally, there is a piece about being a lamplighter. So I'm going to invite you to find 2 to 3 to 4 people amongst you to do a little learning with for the next 5 minutes. And you can just find one question or one verse that stands out for you for now. And then I invite you to take these into our kiddish lunch in a few minutes where the possibilities for deeper conversation, I believe, are endless. All right, I'm going to invite these conversations to continue at our kiddish lunch in just a few minutes. So wrap up the thought or the half-baked idea that you had wherever you were, and thank your Havruta partner, especially if it's someone that you had not planned to have a conversation with and got to meet this morning. And I'm curious on that first Again, the Talmud math, the one that I came up with is that babysitting on a Friday night is 1/60th of parenthood. But does anyone else have either an interpretation of the 1/60ths that we saw, or something else that popped into your mind as you read through that list? Yaela. Ooh, taking a shower is 1/60th of swimming in the ocean. I like that. That's fascinating. Yes, there seems to be a connection to the way we use our senses, to experience something, and what its more profound experience might be. Anyone else have a thought they want to share? All right, I'm going to let that linger and percolate, and you let me know if anything else comes to mind, and particularly, as we close out Hanukkah and we hear about the potency of dreams that were just read for us in our Torah portion. I invite you all to pay attention to those spaces in between, the linear ways that we move through our days that feel more mysterious and perhaps don't make the most sense at this moment, but might be the wisdom that we need to carry into the new year, into a new season. We turn now to Aleinu on the top of page 282. I'll open our ARC doors one more time this year before we go dark for a few weeks. So we get to see our Torahs one more time as we rise for Aleinu on page 282.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'tet gedula liotzer breshit, shehu notei shamayim v'yosed aretz, u'moshav yekaro b'shamayim mima, u'shchinatu zo begovhei meromim, Eloheinu enod, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. V'ne'emar v'hai Adonai l'melech ha'kol ha'aretz b'yom ha'hu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
Thank you. Please be seated. We have the custom, when we come to the Mourner's Kaddish, of inviting in a series of intentional categories everyone to rise in our community in solidarity with our mourners. And in this particularly heavy week that is past, with so many deaths that publicly and communally, those in the Jewish community and in the wider human family, have mourned, particularly in light of violence that ended the lives of far too many people this week. It feels so necessary that we take this pause before the Mourner's Kaddish to hear each and every name read of those who lost their lives to violence this week, particularly in the Bondi Beach massacre and in the massacres at Brown University and MIT. We're also thinking of Rob and Michelle Reiner and these Bondi Beach victims, Edith Brutman, Dan El-Kayam, Boris and Sophia Gutman, Alex Klaitman, Rabbi Yaakov Levitan, Peter Mager, Ruvain Morrison, Marika Pogani, 10-year-old Matilda, Rabbi Eli Schlanger, Adam Smith, Boris Tetelroyd, Tanya Tretiak, and Tibor Weitzen. And those who lost their lives at Brown University and MIT, Ella Cook, Muhammad Aziz, Umar Zokov, and Professor Nuno Loureiro. Here at Temple Beth Am, we are grieving the recent loss of Fern Gershon, sister of Gary Nacht and sister-in-law of Lynn Marie, aunt of Micah and Mira, and Art Kaufman, husband of Ruth Kaufman, father of Kathy Simon, Kenneth Kaufman, Ronald Kaufman, Douglas Kaufman, and Theo Kaufman, grandfather of Noah, Ruby, and Oscar, and many others. And we're grieving the loss of Esther Marlene Kaminsky, mother of Danielle Fiore, mother-in-law of Kyle Fiore, and grandmother of Poppy and June. And we have a particularly extensive Kaddish list, or yard-side list, this morning, because some of these names are names that we want to make sure to read in person in community that move through the entirety of December, as will be online and virtual next week. So we honor and commemorate the yard sites this week of Jacqueline Addis, Rochelle Alfie, Irene Bader, Fritzy Belaski, Ace Besman, Anne Sioni, Bert Cohen, Rosalind Barbin Ellen Bogan, Natalie Fingerroot, Jane Flaxman, Myron Gelb, Joseph Gottlieb, Herman Grunfeld, Beryl Ann Hoff, Louis Clasterin, Janet LaRosa, Dorothy Letson, Jerome Lorber, Mel Magnus, Keith Pauley, Joseph Paulak, George Phillips, Lynn Provisor Mandel, Florence Rosenfeld, Benjamin Shire Baker, Benjamin Shikiar, Mary Schuster, Joe Schuster, Louis Siegel, Philip Simon, Jacqueline Sorgan, Eileen Stogard, Gertrude Sussman, Gerald Weinstein, Beatrice Welt, Sylvia Wortman, Helen Zabinski, Zach Zabinski, Barbara Zeev, and Philip Zuckerberg. And as we light the menorah, we know that lighting a candle can often be what links us to memory of candles that we've lit, yard-side candles of those that we love, candles of those whose memories are most present with us when we come to the Mourner's Kaddish. If there is anyone whose name is on your heart, either someone that you have lost recently or in seasons past who you'd like to share out loud so we can hold those names with you, I invite you to do so now. If you are in a period of recent loss, observing Shiva, Shloshim, or Shana, the first week, the first 30 days, or the first year since the passing of a loved one, I invite you to rise. If you are here honoring a yard site, I invite you to rise. Now I invite all of us to rise as one community, holding space for grief, holding space for memory, as we turn to the words of the Mourner's Kaddish. Kaddish Tom is on page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divara chirute ve'amlich malchute, b'chaye chon uvyome chon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv imru amen. Yehe shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudesha brichu le'ela minkol birchata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechemata ta'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. We say zikronam livracha. May their memories always be for blessing. Please be seated. It has been a blessing to spend this Shabbat morning with all of you for the fullness of this service. Thank you, Diana, for bringing such beautiful Hanukkah tunes and for really anchoring us musically and lifting our spirits through this service. Thank you, Ronnie, for making sure. This is a pleasure. This is an absolute pleasure to be here. And thank you, Ronnie, for making sure that we have the materials we need to be fully present, that they'll also come back the way that they came. And the only announcement is that we are going quiet. We will observe a hush as Temple Beth Am over the next couple weeks, which means that services will not be in the sanctuary for Friday and for Saturday night, but they will be virtual. Chava Morel will be leading services as she always does. It will be beautiful. It will be from the comfort of your home or wherever you will be for the next few weeks. Kaddish will be read, so know that there will be full services. They will be virtually observed. So all the more so, it's such a pleasure to be here in person to really honor this last Minyan of the year. And the other announcement is join us for lunch. There's a delightful Kiddush lunch in the other room with some Hanukkah treats. And that is what to look forward to. What? In the library. Thank you, Ronnie. Okay, I was going to misdirect everyone. In the library, so that we don't have the aftermath of the cookie decorating that happened in the social hall. You will have the pleasure of lunch in the library. That is what is before us. And we are going to do Kiddush and Motzi now, and then close with. I think yes. I think we're going to do the song first. We're going to end on a joyful Hanukkah note. You promised us 2 more languages, so that's what I'm excited to hear now. 2 more languages with which to sing O Hanukkah.
My mic went off, and so I'm coming up here. This is very, well, you'd have to hold it for me. I can't. Yeah, really? No, this is okay. Is that way too loud, though? Yes, it's way too. And it's all right. Rabbi Laura's going to pretend she's a mic stand.
I can do that. I can't play the guitar, but I can be a mic stand. There we go.
Okay, we're going to do the Yiddish one. Do you have the Yiddish one?
I can do it. Yes.
Oh, it should be. Oh, it's working. Yay! It's a Hanukkah miracle. The miracle of the mic. 8 mics of Hanukkah. Okay, we're going to do Yiddish, and then we're going to do Ladino. I haven't covered all the Jewish languages here, but I think I've given us a pretty wide breadth of the world of Jewish language. The Ladino lyrics are courtesy of Stacy Lawson. I don't know if anyone knows her. She's local. The Yiddish ones are on the screen or in your prayer book. O Chanukah, a Yom Tov, a Shener, a lustiger, a freilicher, nito noch, a Zoiner, alle Nacht in Breidlach spielen wir. Zudi heise Latkas est an a Schier, Geschwinder sind Kinder, der dienen gelichtelig singt Al-Hanissim, läuft Gott vor den Nissim und kommt, Gicher tanzen in Kon. Singt Al-Hanissim, läuft Gott vor den Nissim und kommt, Gicher tanzen in Kon. Let's try the Ladino. Starts out the same way. Got the Ladino? Arlo? Oh Hanukkah, la celebración, queda alegría al corazón. Hay sabrosas latkes para comer, hay una pirinola para revolver y día tras día la veles nos va a alumbrar. Una velita y otra velita que ayudan a decorar. Happy
Ach,
Hanukkah.
that was fabulous. Ugh, I felt like a transported version of O Hanukkah. All right, we raise a Kiddush glass and say, yes, thank you, Elliot, for raising a beautiful improv Kiddush glass in the back. Thank you for also helping make so much of today happen.
Yes, thank you, Elliot.
Baruch
Baruch
atah
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
And let's make this a communal experience so you can come close to the challah or someone who is currently holding the challah. Oh, yes, however you want to make a human chain of connection, we say. Shabbat Shalom and Happy Hanukkah. Thank you online for joining us. Shabbat Shalom and have a beautiful end of 2025.